Hello again, fellow Avatar and Korra fans. I'm Avatar 4 here with the recap and my thoughts on San Diego Comic-Con 2015. And as usual, Korra and Avatar both had a panel, and that was yesterday, and it was pretty exciting, especially in comparison to last year, where I'll discuss later where we got the news that was being moved online. So overall, the news that we got, the actual news last year, was kind of depressing. So it was exciting to once again get some exciting news and stuff to be happy about, so even though the show's over. So yeah, that's what I'll be discussing, the merchandise that was available both at the Nick booth, the Dark Horse booth, all that. And also we have a little bit more news to talk about, but overall this video will focus on my thoughts on the Avatar panel and what Comic-Con has offered Avatar fans so far. And in case you don't know, Comic-Con isn't over. The panel was yesterday, but there still is a possibility with the creator signing and stuff that they might get asked and it might be put online, and if anything interesting like that comes up, I'll probably make a video on that too. Since the show's over, I'm trying to find some video ideas. So right now, let's start out with the merchandise available at Comic-Con. As I said, and I think one of my past videos, I can't remember if it was the last one, but one of my past videos, I showed the print that Brian Konietzko drew, and it was both of Aang and Korra, and it was like it was a print that was going to be available on the Nickelodeon booth and maybe online afterwards, like they do sometimes if they have extras. And so yeah, that was available. Let me pull it up just in case you don't remember. It looks like this. Let's see, I tried to be more organized with this one. Yeah. Open. No. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one, it's hard to pick up everything, but yeah, it has Korra, and you can't really see Aang because he's lighter, but yeah, and that might jog your memory in case you don't remember. It's called Avatar Generations, I think, and yeah, once again, it's available at the Nick booth. It's kind of like an exclusive. It's pretty nice. And then once again, everything else was news-wise. Let's see. The Lin PVC statue, which I also shown during that video, I don't really have anything else to really say about it. It's cool. I'm still just wondering why Lin out of all characters, but it's still cool. And they seem to be selling extremely well. But there is one bad thing, one negative that I've heard about Avatar fans at the convention, is that since it's an exclusive version and the real, like, one for the set that might be announced for the same people that made the Lin statue for both Avatar and Korra, they said that they're gonna eventually make more Avatar and figures and put them into it like a collection. And the Lin is the first one to see how that went over, and it went really well. But since it was an exclusive, they only give out 20, or have available to sell 20 per day, which that means I think Comic-Con's like 5 days, including preview night, so that means like 100 people will be able to get the Lin statue, and it sells out pretty much every single morning within the first few hours. I see on Tumblr someone said it sold out again. So they're going over really well, and what I've seen from the reviews from different people, it's getting good reviews overall as a figure and statue, and it seems to be going over really well. So I think that's good news for the Avatar collection moving forward. But once again, with it just being 20, I actually thought they were gonna, I don't know, have just an unlimited number, just kind of like, I don't know how many they normally sell, because they could have sold a lot more are, because there's a lot of people just complaining because people that's not really fans of the show that just go around and buy Comic-Con exclusives just to put them up on eBay and sell them for like 3 times as much and send an exclusive, when real fans that actually want the figure and will keep it and play with it and whatever, they aren't able to get it necessarily. And so yeah, some fans are kind of disappointed with that. I can't get it anyway, the exclusive version. But yeah, so people are kind of complaining about that, but overall they seem to be going over really well with the fans and what we've seen. So fingers crossed for more Avatar figures going forward. Let's see, oh yeah, at the Dark Horse booth, there's those are the only 2 things at the Nickelodeon booth. At the Dark Horse booth, there's the whole like line of like the coasters, the shot glasses, the pint glass set, the Aang statue from last year, all that stuff from last year, and the patches and everything. So they have a massive Avatar section, then all the Avatar comics, obviously. And one thing in a case that says available early 2016, which is exciting, there's a Korra statue there. And let me pull up that picture. I think I have a picture. Yeah, I do. Let me try to find it. It looks pretty cool and spot on, as close as you can get for a statue. This one, in comparison to the Aang, it seems like they took the opening sequence, like with Korra standing on the rock and the Aang statue in the background. Obviously, they used Aang statue as the figure last year, and then that went over really well, so they made a Korra one, and there it is. Once again, it's kind of hard to pick up, but if you just type it in on Google, Korra statue Comic-Con, it'll come up from all the fan sites that have been posting it and everything. And also the official Legend of Korra and Dark Horse, I think, Facebook pages and maybe Tumblr posted it. And yeah, available early 2016, just like so everyone can get it. It's probably going to be expensive, just like the Aang was, but it's a collector's item, and I'll at least eventually get the Aang and Korra one once I get money. So yeah, it was perfect for a statue in my opinion. As her hair like blowing, kind of like it's in the wind. It looks really good and as close as you can get to her character model as it can get. So yeah, let's see what else, if there's anything really to point out before we get into the overall my thoughts on the panel. I think that's it. So yeah, there's a lot of merch and fans seem to be buying up. It seems to be selling really well, as it always does. Korra and Avatar things sell out really easily there. And they also have the Naga plushies too. I forgot about that. So yeah. And as usual, Brian and Mike, obviously they were at the panel. They were the only 2 panelists this year, since it was a smaller one. Since Korra's not airing, they don't have the big Ballroom 20 with the whole cast and everything come out. So yeah, let's see. Anyway, as I was saying, the signing poster that Brian normally posts and draws for everyone at the convention for the signings, both at Nickelodeon and Dark Horse, it looks really nice. And this year, instead of just Korra, it's kind of like the panel. They kind of mixed Avatar and Korra and made the 10-year Avatar special one. So it has Korra and Aang. Once again, I don't know how this will appear, because even on my screen in the actual version, the high quality version, it seems pretty dark on them, but it's still a really nice poster. As you can see, some of the details, it has what looks like a spirit portal with Aang and Korra overlooking it. It's really, really pretty. Once again, if you type in or look on Brian's Tumblr, you don't even have to have a Tumblr account. You can just see what he posted. So yeah, that's the signing poster. Looks really nice. I wish I could get one, but I'm not there. So yeah, I entered a contest, but I probably won't win, because, you know, that's how that goes. But you never know. If it does, believe me, I'll make a video over my excitement. So yeah. So the people there are getting that signed. It's a really awesome poster. One of my favorites that I've seen, just because it has both Aang and Korra. That doesn't happen that often, because it's been just Korra lately, which makes sense, obviously, when the show is going on. So yeah, that's the main thoughts of Comic-Con before the panel. Now I'll get into the panel. So this is going to be the focus of the video, obviously. As I said in the beginning of the video, the panel for Avatar and Korra was yesterday. It was, even though Nickelodeon's like ignoring it, which I'll get into later, which is kind of disappointing, but the official description, let me see if I can pull that up right quick, because I think that would be helpful to see if it actually met the like requirements or thoughts that were put out. Let's see. I'll go on my Twitter right quick, because I know I tweeted it. I didn't even think about pulling up the description and comparing it, because I hate when sometimes panels like get hyped up and then it's not really anything new like the description said, just to get fans excited in there. Okay, it's titled Nickelodeon and Dark Horse Comics Avatar: The Last Airbender: Legend of Korra. It's a basic title, but makes sense. It was yesterday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, so I'm on the East Coast, so at like 1 in the afternoon, I was at my computer live blogging, running my Twitter fan site. If you don't know, I run the Twitter fan site for Avatar called Avatar Central. And yeah, that was exciting for 2 hours. I was just sitting there typing, like, oh my gosh, and then had my phone in one hand, like, I had several live blogs, kept on refreshing every minute or so. It was really fun. I always love that, and I hope we have more panels after this. And at least just for the comics. Okay, the description, it says, come celebrate Nickelodeon's Avatar universe with the bright minds who created it all. Co-creators and executive producers, Mike DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. Mike and Brian will discuss past storylines and tease the future at a panel full of surprises and behind-the-scenes stories. Okay, I'll get into how this relates to the overall panel and what actually happened. Overall, it's pretty close to what happened. I wouldn't say it's as full of surprises as they said, but, you know, it's full of a surprise. But, yeah, it's still, that surprise release, surprising, so, and exciting, so I don't really care. But, yeah. So, my thoughts on the panel overall. I'm satisfied with it. I guess I could just go ahead and kind of describe the layout overall. It started out, obviously, Mike and Brian came in after everyone was seated. It was packed full of Avatar fans as usual. Hundreds of people didn't get in. There was a massive line, and as usual, because Avatar and Korra has a big fandom. And yeah, Mike and Brian came out. They gave their brief overall thoughts on the Book 4 finale, since this is the first con since then, obviously, talking to the fans, and their thoughts on Korrasami, I guess. I don't have on that type of stuff. That wasn't really live blog, because nothing important was really being said. I don't really know exactly what they said, word for word, as I do some other parts, because the live blogs didn't pick it up as the, like, news or anything. But, and I haven't seen anyone post the actual video of the panel. I'm thinking that'll come up either today or tomorrow. Normally, in 2 or 3 days after the panel, it's normally up. So once I do that, if anything else comes up interesting, then I'll make a video. But yeah, they gave their thoughts on the Book 4 finale, the reaction. They were pleased with it, and how they miss the team, their partners and like fellow artists that worked on it, and yeah, how they still keep in touch. So that was kind of the first 5 minutes, and maybe not even 5 minutes. They were moving along pretty fast in the beginning, and then they showed images from Smoke and Shadow, since it is the comic panel and there's nothing else in the show to talk about. But the bad thing is, this was things we'd already seen. They only covered part 1, and we've gotten 2 descriptions for it, with pretty much the whole plot summed up for the first two parts, first one especially. And the panels that we saw were just from the 12-page preview that we got. So pretty much we're set on part 1 of Smoke and Shadow, which we're just waiting on the book to come out. So hopefully So I was hopeful that they wouldn't spend too much time on that or it'd be really disappointing. But they didn't. They kind of moved along. I was just kind of like, okay. I kind of expected them to show part 3, the cover, since we pretty much know about parts 1 and 2. We have for months. We're just waiting on the book, like I said, to come out. But yeah. So they kind of moved along after that. Probably after the first 10 minutes, they were done with Smoke and Shadow, moving on. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. Then they discussed and showed images from the final Korra art book for Book 4 Balance. And, oh yeah, they gave the first piece of news, which is really exciting for me as an art person. They gave the final cover art for the art book, and let me see if I can find it right quick. Right there. Once again, this is a picture from the panel. I expect Dark Horse to upload the HD version. I don't know how this will come out since it's really blurry, but because someone took a picture. But yeah, it has Korra in front of a spirit portal. And it was originally just the NYCC, New York Comic Con poster from last year with Korra and Kuvira. And I wanted an original piece of art for the final Korra art book because that's a big deal. And I'm happy that they did this, and it looks awesome. It has the Book 4 poster that we got with the DVD and Blu-ray. The blue Korra with the Rava imprint, kind of. And yeah, that exact design is in front of a kind of stock image of the spirit portal. So yeah, it's pretty cool, even though they kind of merged to, it's not really original for the art book, but they pulled things from different sources, and it's cool because we haven't seen these on top of each other, the layers. So I still think it's a cool cover, especially for the final one. Once again, I'll analyze it more once we get in the HD version because I can't really pick out the colors or anything. But yeah, so that was the first piece of news that we actually got, which was really exciting. And then after that, they showed some character art and designs that we'd already seen, but some of the other stuff that we haven't seen from Book 4, they took out pages from the art book and put them on the screen. And I haven't really seen much of that, but I've seen a few. There was like Korra going through her design process. You know, I've analyzed the art books and said, oh, I love them so much. And they go through the early concepts to the final design, and they have little notes and the drawings and everything that led to that, storyboard images. So yeah, for me as an art person, that was interesting. But if you weren't into art and you weren't there, if you're just waiting at home on a live blog, like, I was interested in it, but there was no news being reported for probably the next 20 minutes. It was just them talking about this. It was cool while you're there, and if you're an art person like me, but other than that, I can see why some people kind of got bored during that part. And then they started a Q&A with the fan questions that they asked us to send in via Twitter and on Tumblr. Dark Horse did. And I'll get to why I'm smiling right now. So about the Q&A. But yeah, the Q&A, there were pretty good questions. They weren't really generic like last year, where they asked Korra, the voice actors for Korra and like Lynn, what do you think of your characters? And you're just kind of like, really? Out of all things to ask, why would you ask that? But, so yeah, there were a few different points, but once I get an actual video of it, I'll probably make a video and get it word for word what they said, pick out little details. I know for the live blog that I was following, for the most part, they said they brought up Sokka and why he wasn't in Korra, but I don't really know what they said, so that'll be something that I'll just have to see later. And so yeah, once again, I thought the questions were pretty interesting, and I was just like, okay, they're closing off, and I'm kind of worried now because we're not really getting any news besides the Book 4 art book image. As cool as that was, it's not really that exciting. So I was kind of getting worried at this point because it was probably like getting close to the end of the panel. And okay, while I was smiling, they used the question that I submitted. Once again, I haven't heard if they used my Twitter or my email because I sent it both ways. I don't know if they used my Twitter handle or Avatar Central or my email. But yeah, they asked. My question, I didn't even think it was that good of a question, but I asked, for Bright, were there any concepts or characters from the original series that they considered bringing back for Korra but didn't? And I think they said, based on what I saw, that from the beginning they pretty much knew that it was Katara, Toph, and Zuko. So there wasn't really, that were still alive. There wasn't really like, we're bringing Sokka back. Oh, no, wait, we don't do that later on. So, yeah, I'm happy with that answer. I'm just happy that they said my question. When I heard that, I almost like fell out of my chair. It was awesome. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see that in the video version, or hear it. And yeah, at this point after the Q&A, I kind of thought it was over. And then the last question, this was planned out really well. And all the fans, I bet, were kind of like, okay, it's almost over. And then they said, they were asked, what are you going to do next with Korra? And then they said, they kind of smirked and like looked at each other and like, well, we kind of have something to tell you guys. And then I heard that the lights dimmed and like they showed on the screen a shot of the spirit portal, and then it showed Korra and Asami walking out of it, and then it had, in comic version, and it had like Legend of Korra on the top, Dark Horse Comics, written by Mike. And then I guess, I haven't seen the video, everyone probably screamed and everything, because this was the real news that we were waiting for, Korra comics, that a lot of people saw coming, but I didn't know if we would get them right away, especially since Brian and Mike announced their new projects. Oh yeah, I'll make a video on that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they announced their new projects, and they wanted to point out they're both working on the Korra comics. They don't know when they're coming out. They'll just work alongside of the Avatar comics, but they'll be more involved, since this time with Korra, they said that Avatar comics would continue, but they'll do Korra comics, and they'll be writing it, and they'll be kind of doing most of the stuff, like story planning and all that stuff, which is different from the Avatar comics, which is really exciting that they're actually writing it. And so yeah, that was really unique how they saved that question for last, literally right before the panel ended. And you're like, oh yeah, one last thing, you're getting Korra comics. And yeah, that was just awesome. I remember I was like pounding my keyboard. I was like, yes, Korra comics, finally news. And then, so yeah, overall it was a good panel. And once again, I'll say more when I see an actual video version or recording of it. But yeah, overall, satisfied with the panel. It didn't disappoint as an Avatar fan. They could have done more, but overall, with the show ended already, I didn't expect much, and I was happy with what we got. Once again, we don't really know when the Korra comics are coming out or much about them. We just know that the first trilogy is going to focus on the aftermath of the Book 4 finale, Republic City getting destroyed, maybe see Kuvira in prison or something, I don't know. And then also Korrasami, which the fans like exploded about. They're just going to focus on Korrasami. So, that'll be something. And then, yeah, then it was over. And, yeah, so it was San Diego Comic-Con, and it's been good as an Avatar fan once again. I always love tweeting out on my fan site all the Avatar news and everything. It's just really exciting. I look forward to this time of year just because of that. And so, yeah, hope you enjoyed my recap, and feel free to comment if you've been keeping up with Comic-Con, or if you just heard about the news of Korra comics from this video. Yeah, tell me your thoughts, and if you're excited about it, focusing on Korrasami or whatever, because I know a lot of fans just have been tweeting about that and going crazy and like fanboying, girling, whatever. So yeah, tell me your thoughts, and thanks for watching.